That's so beautiful. Thank you. I was wondering when that was going to come to the last tinkle. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday celebration of love, where we come together to celebrate the power of love that is within us, around us, through us, and it is us at all times. And this Sunday, we have back with us Aidan Farrell, which I'm so happy to have you back, Aidan.
I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
Great, great, great. And I'm going to let you start us off. And this is, people either love this song, like me, I love this song, or people have an aversion to it. But it is an oldie, a goodie, and just a wonderful way to start off this morning's celebration. So take it away, Aidan.
Okay. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on love. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Singing and dancing with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Singing and dancing with my mind, stayed up on love. Singing and dancing with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Living my life with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Living my life with my mind, stayed up on love. Living my life with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on love. Woke up this morning with my mind, stayed up on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
That's what I missed. That was fantastic. Thank you. Oh, it's so great to have you back. So, and this little light of mine, I'm going to light a candle. And oops, I just need another package here to light this match from. Or maybe those matches don't work at all. Here we go. I am going to light one candle here. And it's so important to have ritual and to recognize our light within, the light above, the light that is the source of all life, and to celebrate and acknowledge the light within all philosophies, traditions, religions, ideas, even if we don't agree with them, there's still a spark of light in there somewhere. And to recognize our oneness with the one eternal light. And so I would like to, first of all, acknowledge Hinduism, which says treat others as you yourself want to be treated. And Judaism, what you yourself hate, do to no being. And then Buddhism, hurt not others with that which pains yourself. In Christianity, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In the Tao, regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain. Regard your neighbor's loss as your own loss. And Confucianism, that the maxim of loving kindness is one that ought to be acted upon one's whole life. And in Islam, do unto beings as you wish have done unto you. And our First Nations traditions live in harmony, for we are all related. And in the Baha'i faith, the oneness of religion, the oneness of humankind, and our new thought traditions and philosophies, including science of mind, that there is a power for good in the universe and we can use it. So recognizing this light, this love, and this thread of consciousness through every single religion around, we're all connected here. We're all one. And let us recognize that in ourselves. Let us recognize the oneness and our connectedness to others and to all of life, including our beautiful planet that we live on. And so with that, I am going to invite our practitioner of the day, Margaret Ann Snyder, to start us off with opening prayer. You need to unmute yourself there, Margaret Ann.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. And I would invite everyone to take a couple of deep breaths, pausing at the top and the bottom before taking the next breath. Relax your body as much as possible, feeling the whole of it from toes to crown. As I take these deep breaths, I acknowledge the truth. There is one life. It is the source and energy of all things, of all people. This life is pure and simple. It is malleable. It is infinite possibility. Life fills all space and spirit animates every form. Spirit is love, the divine being knowing itself. It is the essence of peace, the quiet of the mind and the rhythm of the heart. It is beauty, the flamboyancy of abundance, the precision of perfect revealing. It is joy, the aura of certain acceptance and the assurance of heaven. We are individualized expressions of the one spirit. We are the presence, the power, the divine light. In our power, we have the ability and capacity to use thought. Inside each of us, there is power, power that comes from knowing our ability to choose. Today, we can release all thoughts of fear from our minds. Today, we can lay down the burden of the load of responsibility of life for ourselves or for others. The presence of spirit within each of us reveals the divine love, always present in us and in everyone we meet. Today, everyone we touch is touched with love. Today, we are touched with love. Love brings clarity. Love reveals wisdom. And love, as love, we can be in today and every day, open, free, filled with the light of infinite possibility. In the first person, I can say, I believe that the spirit with me, which is God, makes perfect and peaceful the way before me. In this faith and knowledge, I discover a great peace of mind, a deep sense of belonging, a complete realization that God is right where I am. I put my whole trust in God and feel an intimate relationship, a presence and power that controls everything. In deep gratitude for all of us, in deep gratitude of His knowing, of His understanding, in deep gratitude of our ability and capacity to go within and be in that place of quiet and assurance, in gratitude that life is and I am. In gratitude for all of this, I release my word as love, knowing that it is done. And together we can say, and so it is.
And so it is. That was beautiful. Thank you, Margaret Ann.
You're welcome.
It's funny, half my talk was in your prayer. There's only one mind. I love it. Thank you. And so, Aidan, I'm going to hand it back over to you for our invocation song, which also is one of the most beautifully written songs by Erica Luckett and Lisa Ferraro. And we know it well. And it's so tender, so beautiful. And you sing it so beautifully, Aidan. So I'll leave it over to you.
So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, 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 I will share, 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 this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share,
Oh, stunning, stunning. Thank you. Oh, okay, mark her down. I'm going to bring you back here. We'll go into gallery view, and our theme for this month is action. And so, and of course, the action always starts with us in our thoughts and feelings and how we embody it. And so, curious to know, how's that theme playing out in your life this week, or this month even?
Well, it seems rather interesting to me that most of the practitioners have talked about going within for their action, and I am following that theme. Recently, the action of my mind has been about learning to switch from the jumble of emotions such as fear and sadness to feelings of love and acceptance, and to reduce the tendency of trying to control and fix whatever it is that I'm facing. So this awareness or switching may not seem like action, but it surely is work. And then to remember that the energy of fear or hopelessness that I can't change, that when I can't change things, can be changed to at least a neutrality, to waiting, or as you and Judy have both mentioned to me, to just being with whatever the unknown is. And from the unknown can come the known. I have found with teachings of science of mind that this being with can soon change to a positive acknowledgement that love, with a capital L, is at the core of all of life, no matter what. And last night, I was watching a movie called 28 Days, and it followed a woman through her addiction rehabilitation in a group-oriented facility. One of the exercises the group took part in was for each one individually to approach a horse and to try to lift one of its hind legs. To do this required the person to pet the horse, to let the horse feel their vibration, to be very calm and quiet. The horse needed to feel secure and trusting that the person was lifting their leg. Well, most of the group, including our heroine, tried and failed. At the end of the movie, the heroine finished her treatment and left the facility. As it happened, she came to a moment where she needed to make a difficult, life-changing decision of how she wanted to proceed with her life and her recovery. At that moment, she needed confirmation that she could turn her back on her past and start again. And as it happened, in the city of New York, she came across a couple of horses tethered to a post in the street. So she applied the approach of becoming quiet and open, petting the horse as she took hold of his ankle. And she focused and allowed herself to be with this horse, totally calm, totally focused, totally quiet. And on her second try, feeling her ease, the horse let her lift her foot. I have to tell you, Helen, I was so moved by this. I love horses, and I get great admiration and respect for their instincts and ability to read people. And this metaphor demonstrated for me the power of becoming quiet and neutral and simply being with any situation.
Wow, that's beautiful. As you were describing the lifting, and the patting, because I did so much of that as a kid, right? I grew up with horses, and yeah, it's just connecting. It's connecting into that field of oneness and being present with the horse. And it's such a beautiful experience. And what an amazing story of a woman who's, I think she illustrates so much in all of us in terms of we've all been through so many difficulties, and we've all had to do our work to bring our minds to a place where we can rise above that fear. And it's funny because I'm talking about fear in the brain today. And then we, and having to get to that place where we need to make a choice. There is a pivotal moment in our lives where we have to choose. Well, not making a choice is still a choice, so we have to choose something. And what she chose for herself, and what courage it takes to do that as well, which is within all of us. And so just, yeah, and to be able to recognize our own courage. That's beautiful, Margaret Ann.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that in the movie. It was special.
Yeah, and I think there's so many great things that we can watch and be reminded that, oh yes, that lies within me too,
Yes.
that human experience. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely beautiful. And would you like to lead us in our affirmation?
Okay, Michelle.
That's
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
The action I take in my mind is reflected in my experience. And I'll say it one more time for us. The action I take in my mind is reflected in my experience. And so it is.
And so it is. And isn't that just so in alignment with what that woman in the movie had to do, of like taking action in her mind to get herself still and quiet to become one with the horse. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And so, Aiden, you have a new song for us.
So this one is actually one I've done before. When you said action, I wanted to choose a song that I felt like really fit, and I chose If It's Not Up to Us because to me it's just about recognizing what both of you said all morning, the power of yourself. And the moment you stop looking outside for the answers and you look within. And I wrote this song about 3 years ago when there was fires, smoke in Vancouver, and there's lots of fires around the world right now. And it's discouraging and it's hard and it's sad. And it's interesting for me to feel these lyrics change in meaning as I grow and learn. And yeah, I love this song, and it's about looking within, taking action in your mind and your soul. So this song is called If It's Not Up to Us. Waiting on the rain to fall, waiting on the smoke to clear, sit and wait for a rainbow to appear. So you can face your fears. Waiting on a sign to show waiting on the moment you just know. Waiting for the answers as the questions they've grown cold, and your heart's been growing old. What will make
what we've done. Looking back at who we have become, wondering how we got lost while we were living on the run, while we waited for the sun. Wondering when the joke is through. Wondering how or what to do. Wondering how to live right in the world that's oh so cruel. Where losing hope is nothing new. What will make the dreamers is their courage to pull through. If it's not up to us, if it's not up to us, if it's not up to us, then who?
So beautiful. Thank you. And yes, absolutely a perfect song, because it's, again, coming back into that space of building the resilience and having self-reliance on ourselves. And it's not about living out there and listening to all the very interesting stuff that's going on in the world right now. Oh, thank you so much, Aidan. So the title of my talk, Fear to Faith to Trust. And so how many of you feel the fear creeping into your thoughts and, paralyzing your voice, dictating your actions, especially these days? This may be the way things are happening for some of you. The more we move through this very interesting experience, and that's what I'm calling it. It is a very interesting experience that's happening in the world right now. It can be easy to let fear be an underlying spark for irrational behavior and feelings of separation from the very life we knew. And I think, there is a lot of letting go of what we knew, and we don't know what it's going to look like in the future. And we can have so many fears. We can have fear of death, fear of living, fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, the wrong choice, fear of success, fear of losing what we believe keeps us safe, fear of the unknown, which I think fear of the unknown is an overarching fear right now. And let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that fear had beaten you down and kind of strangled the life from you? It was just, sucking you dry. And I have to admit, I've had a few moments like that myself, over these past 6 months, and I'm able to get myself out, but I don't think any of us are 100% immune to it. The fear, it can rise up and grab you at the most inconvenient time. And sometimes it's also so gradual and it's masked so well that it just slides in, and all of a sudden, I know I can go, what the heck is going on with me? And I'm like, oh, I am mired in fear. And fear will strangle, immobilize us, subtracts life from us, withers and crushes and shatters us, and it can grip our souls. And I think for a lot of people, certainly a lot of people that I'm coaching, and people that have lost their jobs, and people that are struggling to know how to connect with other people, it's snatching up every dream they've had. And then once in a while, sometimes the fear can become replaced with anger and hopelessness. But fear encourages us to give up and accept the misery of existence. Just, yeah, that's the way it is. Versus living in the joy, the peace, the connectedness, the oneness, the excitement. And, how do we move out of this fear? How do we move out of it individually? How do we move out of it collectively? And when I watch the news, and yes, I do watch the news, and I read Reuters briefings, and I read the Skim, and occasionally the New Yorker, the New York Times, the Globe and Mail, CBC, I do watch the news. And, when I watch documentaries such as The Social Dilemma, which if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It will really scare the pants off of you in one respect. There's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's all about how everything now is so interconnected through social media. And that's where most of us spend our time, is in social media, whether it's LinkedIn or WhatsApp, or using Facebook Messenger or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. What else is there? There's TikTok. Never used TikTok or Snapchat, but they're all interconnected, and they're all grabbing our information and then filing information into our news feeds based on our likes, where we focus our attention. And of course, where we focus our attention expands. Well, it expands in social media too. And it's like, wow, okay. So how do we get out of the fear, which is behind pretty much every issue that we have, that's limiting us and keeping us in this constricted space? Well, our brain is actually an incredible tool to transcend fear. We talk about change your mind, change your life. I want you to also consider this. Change your brain, change your mind, change your consciousness, change your life. I'm going to say that again. Change your brain, change your mind, change your consciousness, change your life. Because your brain, your mind, and consciousness are not the same thing. They're three separate components. Our brain is our brain that functions, that creates neural pathways and sends information to the rest of our body. Our mind is the culmination of our thoughts, our feelings, and our intuitive knowing, which creates our reality. And our consciousness is the totality of the visible and the invisible, and our awareness of both, or our awareness of it all. So I know that's kind of a lot to take in. I'm just going to say it again. Our mind is the culmination of our thoughts, feelings, and intuition. And we know that what goes on in our mind and the action we take in our mind is reflected in our reality. but our consciousness is the totality of the invisible and the visible, and our awareness of both simultaneously. So what we focus our attention on expands. It's reaffirming the neural pathways of the brain. It's proving our reality to us. And it's either expanding our consciousness, our awareness of both the invisible and the visible, or we are contracting from consciousness out of fear. And the great thing is, how we use our mind can change our brain, which changes our mind, which changes our consciousness. And it's kind of like, okay, well, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? The brain, the mind, consciousness? I don't know. They all work together. And in Rick Hanson's book, The Buddha Brain, which is the practical neuroscience of happiness, love, and wisdom, he says, how we focus our attention, how we intentionally direct the flow of energy and information through our neural circuits can directly alter the brain's activity and structure. The key is to know the steps towards using our awareness in ways that promote well-being. So when your mind changes, your brain starts firing in a different way, it changes too. And we are not beholden to anyone to continue creating our reality based on the past and our past experiences, based on what we are experiencing now, or what we are fearing about the future. We do not have to continue to create from our circumstances. When we build a solid foundation of spiritual practice, and what I mean by spiritual practice is anything you do that enhances your deep soul connection to that loving, creative energy of the universe, recognizing we're all connected. Anything you do, whether it's Aiden playing the piano, whether it's Margaret Ann gardening, whether it's me cooking, or out in nature walking, or meditating or praying, it doesn't matter. It's whatever builds that foundation for us that enhances our soul connection and our recognition of our oneness and that we're all connected. Because when we are present and aware, we're able to cool those fires of fear. We're able to step into our integrity, the wholeness of our being. And we learn to focus the mind and concentrate on love, forgiveness, and remembering who we are. And that cuts through the confusion. So we must first learn to focus our mind and be mindful about our oneness and focus our mind on love, forgiveness, and coming back into who we are. And we develop a knowing that our life is unfolding absolutely perfectly according to our beliefs, whether our beliefs are conscious or unconscious. Our life is unfolding according to our beliefs. And through spiritual practice, we can start to trust our own intuitive nature of oneness versus getting caught up in all the crazy making stuff, which just has us firing back into survival mode and living in fear again. And so, therefore, freedom from fear comes from a mindfulness and wisdom that is beyond our rational mind, which tells us lies. So when we step into this knowing and this presence and this mindfulness, and we start training our mind, which is our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, how we show up in the world, when we start training our mind to be the love that we are, to forgive the history, to come back into remembering who we are, which is not our body, it's not our thoughts, it's not our feelings. We are energy, pure energy. Then we can exude that love, we can exude the compassion, we can exude the presence, we can exude grace. And we are liberated from those old rationalizing thoughts of, oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, what's going to happen with lockdown? What's going to happen with these interesting times? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen with the weather? What's going to happen with my finances? What's going to happen? Nobody knows. None of us know. And it's okay not to know. But here's the thing. We're hardwired to know. And so we have to acknowledge what the fear is. Because fear doesn't come from spirit. Spirit is infinite love. So where do we get fear from? It's created by our human need to survive. Our brain is built more for avoiding difficult situations and pain than it is for approaching what's good for us. Historically, we were to avoid any potential danger or threat to our survival. Now we are so conditioned to avoid that we numb out, we retreat, we get angry, aggressive, passive aggressive, or constantly look over our shoulder to make sure that we don't get blindsided. And we think if we put up boundaries, oh, well, boy, that'll avoid me from being hurt. So we're in this constant avoiding state. Avoid the fear, but we're feeling the fear. But avoid the fear, but I'm feeling the fear. And so it creates all this confusion as to what we're supposed to do. So first of all, we need to name the fear. And then ask yourself, am I moving away out of fear, or am I moving towards my good from a foundation of love? It's risky to move towards the unknown, and yet the payoff is infinite goodness. We have two choices, fear or love. Avoiding, moving towards. Oh, probably can't see my hands. Fear, love. Avoiding, moving towards. Take the moving towards something, and seek your own knowing and wisdom until you embody it so deeply that you are living and being in peace, joy, and love. Keep pursuing freedom from fear, even when everything around you seems scary and hopeless, which is one of the reasons you want to sign up for my 30-day visioning challenge. Okay, I'm going to do a shameless plug here, because imagine focusing your mind on who you are for 15 minutes a day for 30 days and visioning yourself living and being from all this good. That's what you get to do in the 30-day challenge. So you can sign up for that on the website. But the other thing is we need to speak our truth, and speaking truth over fear, because how many of us, again, go into avoiding because we don't want to hurt anybody. We have a fear of that too, or we fear what people will think of us, so we don't speak up. And it's the hardest thing, is to speak up for ourselves. And this is what's called virtue. When you speak up for what is true for you, it gives you an integrity and a virtuousness that is just such an expansive feeling, because it involves regulating your actions, your words, your feelings, your thoughts, known as spiritual intelligence, to create benefits for yourself and create benefits for the world, versus when you stay stuck in fear, you are harming yourself and you are harming other people. So, we live in this unexpected world today, and we are being called to stand on this tall foundation of faith, to deeply trust in our own capacity to navigate the unknown with the wisdom of applied common sense, by moving towards something versus retreating and contracting out of fear and moving away. It is so important in these times that we don't become smaller and smaller and smaller. And I know some days I'm like, I think I'd just like to pull the blanket over my head and, not deal with life. But we can't do that. We can't do that to ourselves. We're harming ourselves. It's, what is loving and kind for me? What do I do to stay in that expansive space? What can I do for myself that's a spiritual practice that will move me out of survival mode and back into a place of thriving? And so, again, we can let go of the fear and move towards love. So focus your attention on all those things that support your well-being. Remember, what you focus on expands. So what you focus on expands not only in your mind, not only in your consciousness, but it also expands and creates new neural pathways in your brain where you are creating an idea of a structure in your brain to move towards thriving versus retreating into surviving. So again, it's about training our minds to be mindful, be in the present moment, and recognize fear is false evidence appearing real. It is not truth. It is certainly not spiritual truth. It is false evidence appearing real 99% of the time, because we don't necessarily have to worry about being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger anymore. Yes, do we have things we need to take care of? Yes. But if you are in fear, you have just constricted and limited yourself to what the possibilities are for that difficulty to be resolved. So the more that you can stop drawing conclusions in your mind, well, it's going to happen this way. It's going to be this way. It's going to be hard. Do you know how many people tell me how hard it is to maintain a spiritual practice? I'm like, really? No, it's not hard. It is not hard. When we are willing to recognize that every word we speak can be a spiritual practice, every action we take from love is a spiritual practice, every time we offer gratitude and appreciation for someone and speak kindly and gently and lovingly to someone, that is a spiritual practice. We need to build that every single day and be mindful from it. Because when we don't pay attention, we're separating ourselves from ourselves, and then we're training ourselves to ultimately separate ourselves from the rest of the world. And more than ever, we need to be connected. We need to bring ourselves to this place of understanding that no matter what, no one can take that connection away from us, ever, unless we consent to it. And so, continue with your spiritual practice. When you are in fear, switch over to love. What do I need to do to be loving to myself today? And where do I need to focus my mind? What action, loving action, can I take today? And yes, that starts in mind, but we need to follow through in our words, deeds, and actions. So many blessings to you. Don't let that fear get in there and keep you shrinking away from life and retreating. Move towards the light. Keep moving towards it. It's so worth the journey. So thank you. Namaste. And thank you for tuning in today. Thank you if you're watching in the archives. It's quite the journey. And I am going to look at it as it is a journey. This is a journey. It's a very interesting journey. That way I don't place any judgment on it. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It just is. It just is. And to stay present and in the moment to what is. And so with that, I am going to invite you to say the giving affirmation. And again, you know, this giving affirmation, it's not about giving out. Well, it is actually, but it's also about giving in to yourself, giving to you. You know, the divine love flows through me, to recognize that. It blesses and multiplies all that I have and all I give. I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater flow of abundance. And so it is. And so just imagine, I just want you to, it moves through you. This is blessing you. And again, what you focus on expands. So it's multiplying all that goodness. And for you to just recognize how richly blessed we are in this life right here, right now, today. And of course, next month, our theme is gratitude. It is our month of Thanksgiving. And so we'll be talking a whole lot about giving and Thanksgiving and really being grateful for our blessings. And so if you would like to send a donation in, you can send it into, you can go to our welcomeometoronto.com website and do your donation that way, or you can send an e-transfer to admin@welcomeometoronto.com. And my announcement is about the 30-day challenge. We have a really interesting, great group of people signing up for this. And you don't have to be on Zoom at 8 a.m. Once I'm finished the 15-minute visualization and we've signed off, I'm going to record it. Don't worry, for those of you on Zoom, you won't be part of the recording. And I will send it out. So you can do this before you go to bed, or you can do it on your lunch hour. But to take 15 minutes a day to create in your mind, which is also affecting your brain, this mental picture of you. And, you know, there's many different, there's 30 different themes that we're going to go through. Compassion, forgiveness, prosperity, abundance, love, creative expression, openness. What are the possibilities? To really tapping into all of those beautiful qualities and creating this mental picture, but also feeling them, embodying them, setting a very clear intention for yourself each day on how you choose to be based on this visioning of yourself. So I invite you to sign up. For the month of October, you can sign up at any time during the month of October and you will get all of the visualizations. But know that this is a great deal for $39 to really focus your mind. So sign up for that. And I would like to express my gratitude to Aiden for being back with us, and to Margaret Ann, who's such a dear, dear friend and amazing practitioner. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for joining us. And Aiden, you are going to take us out with our closing song, which is
Best Life, which is an original, but I've sung it before, so some of you may know it. I encourage you to sing along, whether you've heard it or not, at the chorus, because it feels good to sing, so.
It does, so I'll mute myself, and that way you don't hear me.
We're starting here. You got to live in the moment if you want to be free. Don't have to know where you're going. You just gotta believe. Don't need to know why it happened, and you don't need to know how. Go on, forget what you did then, 'cause all that matters is now, 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 now. So be out here glowing, out here flowing, out here knowing that we gon' be alright. Out here living, out here giving, out here knowing that we're one with the light. Out here living our best life. 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 Don't always have to feel happy, and it's okay to cry. Feel every joy, every sorrow. Don't let it pass you by. Nobody has all the answers, and why would we? Know that the place you are standing is where you're meant to be. So be out here glowing, out here flowing, out here knowing that we gon' be alright. Out here living, out here giving, out here knowing that we're one with the light. Out here living our best life. 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 Feel that your fate's been decided. Feel that your bet has been made. Your second chance at redemptions in every breath you take. Forget your fear for the future and leave your shame in the past. 'Cause all there is this moment. Let's make the moment last, 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 last. And be out here glowing, out here flowing, out here knowing that we gon' be alright. Out here living, out here giving, out here knowing that we're one with the light. Out here living our best life. 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 Out here living our best life.
Love it. Thank you so much, Aiden. Beautiful.
Thank you, Helen.
Couple of weeks, and oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you, Margaret Ann. Thank you, everyone else, for tuning in today, and many blessings. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.